Okay, in this video, I want to look at some of the areas of the body in which we want to apply our essential oils, because I think it's important that we talk about this, since there's so many old wise tales or maybe just some misinformation that's circulating regarding where to apply the essential oils, what's the best place for them. When we look at medicinal products that are out there on the market and they are relying on the skin absorption, they have frequently applied these to certain areas of the body that have a thinner epidermal layer, such as the axillary region. One might assume that this would be true of essentials too, and some have suggested that the fragrant molecules can be more easily absorbed in openings of the skin, such as the hair follicles or sweat glands. So this is where we get that idea that applying essentials often neat, which means undiluted, to the soles of the feet is one of the best areas because it's well known for its ability to sweat, and this is the potent way to deliver desired properties. Researchers are showing us that when we look at the absorption methods that have been conducted and experiments that are showing where the dermal penetration is via the feet, this is not exactly what it's showing us here. Now, I want to cite a research study that was done where the researchers were studying the absorption methods. And this one obviously has nothing to do with essential oils, but they were investigating an urban legend or myth claiming that people could become drunk by submerging their feet in vodka. Sort of funny, isn't it? But you can see where I'm going with this. The conclusion proved that this was false, and the alcohol was not detected in the blood when samples were taken every 30 minutes for a total of 180 minutes. You know what? When you think about that, one would assume that the same would be true for essentials, isn't that right? But the feet skin layers are really thicker than a lot of other places on the body, and so it makes it very difficult for anyone to break through that skin barrier. So when you think about it, this idea of putting essentials on the feet is not necessarily the ideal place to put them. Take a look at this diagram I have for you guys. Here is showing the absorption rates for different areas of the body. You can see the palm is 1.3, the scalp is 3.7, the forehead is 4.2. Obviously, this is a very popular place where the anointing of the head is done on the forehead. Sometimes the ear canal was used, which is another place called the Chemin point, and the ear canal is 5.4. Now, let's go on down. You see the abdomen, the stomach area, where it's 2.1, the forearm. Here we see 1.0. Now, if you've been looking at this, you can see that in fact, is one of the best places for absorption. It is going to be the fastest. Interestingly, the scrotal area, 11.8, thinking that would be a very sensitive area, in fact, is not the ideal place to be anointing oil. Now, these absorption rates are really being compared to the forearm, which is 1.0. Now, the balls of the feet was 1.6. So this is a thicker area, which would offer a greater resistance to toxic substances and those areas with thinner skin. So this is not the ideal place to apply essential oils. All right, so let's talk about the skin's health and age and how we need to take this into consideration when we are doing a topical blend for a client or customer. We need to look at the age because their skin could be irritated, it could be injured. And this might be the case of younger people as well, but this is something that we need to consider. Essential oils will have the ability to penetrate much quicker and at a higher percentage with compromised skin. So if this person is suffering from atopic dermatitis, the skin is likely to be broken, so its function as a barrier might be unstable and compromised in some way. So this is obvious implications, not only for the choice of oil that you're going to use, but also for the concentration for the therapeutic effects. And you don't want to have any kind of toxicity for them, so you want to keep that at a minimum. So damaged skin can often benefit from essential oils as well. So in this form of treatment, which might not be necessarily aromatherapy, but we're looking at the therapeutic properties. And so you might want to get a hold of my book, Therapeutic Blending with Essential Oil, to look at that so you can go through all the oils that might be the best choice for this. Essential oils can have a direct pharmacological action on damaged tissues, as well as an indirect effects on the mind, and if the aroma is perceived as pleasant. Of course, the person has to like it, right? Okay, I want to talk a little bit about something else to take into consideration. For many people that have been using essential oils on their children and babies, an infant's skin is much thinner than adult skin. And the skin of a preterm infant is about 2.5 times more permeable than adult skin. And before 30 weeks gestation, it is 100 to 1,000 times more permeable. So children up to 3 months are at an increased risk of skin damage from topically applied agents. And so this is something you want to take into consideration when you are applying essential oils to babies. Always make sure that they are diluted correctly and that you're not using too much of this on them. Now, for the elderly, you have an overall thinning of the epidermis. This is resulting in the skin being more permeable. And so also, again, you want to take this into consideration, that the recovery from a skin injury is approximately 3 times slower in people over the age of 70 and 80. And so this is, again, something you want to consider, especially when working with elderly customers or clients. You want to make sure that they understand that things might take a little longer to heal and for them to receive the benefits. Don't forget to check us out on our YouTube channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. And we look forward to seeing you again in the next video.